travel isn't where I found my balance. I think travel is proof that I found my balance. Growing up, we spent a lot of time moving around. We were running from one eviction to the next. I really developed a part of me where I was insecure with moving. So it's funny, the travel is actually completely opposite to the way I felt growing up, where I need security, I need to stay stable somewhere. Now that I've kind of found a balance in my life, I'm comfortable enough to kind of ride the wave of life, you know. Everything doesn't have to be perfect. You know, you kind of have to accept a certain amount of imperfection, or things are just going to kind of go the way you never envisioned. And it's really taught me to take things as they are and appreciate really everything as it is. My name is Jeremiah Young. I live in Northern California. I work a typical 9-to-5, 40-hour work week, and I like to think of myself as just your everyday adventurer. I'm a son to a single mother. I'm an identical twin. We spent a lot of our youth bouncing around between apartments. We moved around a lot. We grew up pretty poor. You know, I spent a lot of my time playing soldier. So I think in the back of my mind, that was something I always wanted to do. And I joined the military right after the events of September 11th. Worked with the 10th Mountain Division. The 10th Mountain Division is a light infantry unit that specializes in mountain warfare. And what it means is soldiers who carry everything that they need to carry, and they can carry it on a backpack. So really the most similar thing in the civilian side of life is backpacking, like wilderness backpacking. So everybody in the 10th Mountain is like a backpacker. Yeah, so when I really got into traveling, it was all solo. Maybe 2 years after I got out of the military. I didn't have my dogs at the time, and the majority of it was solo backpacking. It wasn't until later, you know, I got my dogs. I brought them everywhere I went backpacking. We started going on trips together, and then it wasn't much long after that I met Jess. You know, a funny story, that's how we met. Packing my inflatable paddleboard down to the lake, and you know, the four of us are kind of inseparable. We go everywhere together now. A lot of our time is spent in the van. Been amazing because it's like the perfect hotel on wheels. You know, there's always downtime when you're traveling, especially in the van. There's a lot of monotonous stuff, you know, the stuff that you don't see on like social media and all the, you know, the van life. You know, people always tend to post the good stuff. So those lulls and those times in between, the dogs are amazing for that. But I guess part of the point with van life is downtime. Like, you intentionally go make downtime. You go park places so you can kind of do nothing and soak it all in. Paddleboards are it's like the perfect condiment to just sitting there and enjoying whatever you've just driven yourself to or gotten to. You grab it, hop on the water, and you're experiencing maybe a place that you've been or you've just gotten to in an entirely new, different way. And it's a way to completely flip it on its head. You know, you might think you've really experienced everything there is about maybe a campground or a beach. And you go hop on a paddleboard and you paddle out, you know, half a mile off of the coast or just down the way, and you turn around and look back, and you've seen something completely different. It's totally different. With a paddleboard, anywhere where there's water, you've doubled the amount of experiences you can have. I look at paddleboarding a lot the way I do with hiking. Paddleboarding can be something as simple as like a day hike, or it can be your means to travel from one spot to the next. I can go from maybe this beach to the next, or maybe I can go from this side of the river to the next. What's really beautiful about paddleboarding is it kind of makes you feel like you're walking on water. Always, growing up as a kid, I love the water. I think for me, it's kind of like a reality check. You don't have to be that far out into the ocean to realize just how vast and insignificant you are in the scope of just this gigantic, gigantic ocean. It's kind of crazy to think about it, but it kind of balances that ego. It's a really surreal experience. You can swim through schools of fish and they just don't half the time acknowledge you. And I guess I would describe it as being like a fly on a wall. You get to kind of really see nature and the wild and kind of the way it's intended to be seen. So after that, I just fell in love with it. And scuba diving and paddleboarding and everything on the water, you name it. Just laying out and just swimming, love it. Can't get myself out of the water. For anybody who's watching this right now, I think the one thing I want to leave you with is you don't have to be somebody amazing to have an amazing experience. You don't need to be larger than life to experience something that will just knock you on your butt. It's an amazing world we're in, and there's something out there for every single one of us to experience and walk away with something that's going to leave a profoundly meaningful memory for the rest of your life. I'm really kind of like your normal everyday person that you'd meet, at the grocery store, and I've had a lot of pretty extraordinary adventures along the way.